about earlier, but
Hmm.
I think that it's like when there's a major reconciliation, right?
Hmm.
And so when you think about that in accounting terms, when someone is reconciling the books, they're reconciling the profit and losses, they're reconciling what's gone out versus what's come in order to balance the books, right? To get things back in order.
Hmm.
And so I do believe this has been a major year of reconciliation, and we're all being reconciled with our purpose, with what really matters, what doesn't matter.
Hmm.
And I think that, and I'm guilty of it too, before the pandemic, being on the hamster wheel of just the routine and the busy and the grind. And I certainly needed to be reconciled back to my purpose and to God and what matters and what doesn't. And
Hmm.
so my personal opinion is that it's been a major year of reconciliation, major year. And I do think as a country, we've gone through that, and as a world, and everyone. And the interesting thing, I don't remember, at least in my lifetime, where there's one event that
Hmm.
affects everyone. There's no person you can't go to no place you can't go to in the world. There's no person you can't talk to in the world where when you say, oh, mask and COVID and
Hmm.
social distance, they know what you're talking about because they've
Yeah.
had to do it too. So it's a global shared experience, which even in the pain of it, we've been reconciled back to each other.
Yes.
We've been reconciled back to community. We've been reconciled back to what that actually means. And
Hmm.
and even with all of the division that goes on politically, we still share that same experience, which I'm hoping can be a foundation that can lead to some more healing in the future.
I would have to piggyback on that and agree. I think the community that this has caused and the slowdown, which opened our eyes to a lot of things that have already been happening in terms of political unrest, racial divide, all of those things which had been happening, but how we were all slowed down and
Yeah,
had our eyes open to see it. And then we're able to conversate about it because what else were we going to do? What else
right.
were we going to do? Because we were all stopped.
That's
Like,
right.
what a beautiful orchestration in the midst of such a painful experience, the growth that we are able to come out with from
That's right.
that. And we no longer need to be blind. And for me personally, I'm so thankful for the slowdown, in our industry.
Yeah.
I would write every day and be out all night. And my friends have said, "You look happy." I'm like, I'm rested, and
Right.
I'm rested, and I can pray, I can journal, I can do all the things that I want to do. But I was putting my career above all of that,
Ooh,
and I've
I
kind of flip
understand.
flopped it. And I'm
I
like,
was
I
there.
shouldn't be that tired. I just shouldn't.
Yeah.
Not in my
Yep.
30s. No. So in that, you kind of started reaching on it, but there's a lot of divisiveness right now. There's a lot of people that have disagreements. There are people that are angry with one another, whether it be politically, whether it be financially, whatever it is. As a man of faith and a man of God, how how do you handle disagreements in this climate when it's so divisive and God has called us to love one another? We are all made in his image. How do you handle that and use the word to push through it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it all, when you talk about love, it's like, okay, we're called to love. I mean, there's the scripture that everyone references, love your neighbor as yourself.
Hmm.
So, I mean, in my experience, a lot of the teaching is around the loving your neighbor part.
Hmm.
But what happens is it says love your neighbor as yourself.